Hey guys, I'm Jonas. Today I'm going to show you 4 ways on how to sharpen your mower blades, plus how to know when it's time to replace them. So let's get to it. Alright, so when you're sharpening your mower blades, you need to have a good pair of gloves, a pair of safety glasses, and a mower blade balancer. This is a cheap one you can pick up for just a couple of dollars from any mower shop, Amazon, anything like that. Super cheap, but an easy way to make sure that your blades are balanced so you're not going to damage your mower. The first method we're going to look at is simply using a hand file. You can pick up a file like this at any hardware store or online. This is a very cheap way to sharpen your mower blades, but it takes a little bit more elbow grease. This also only works if you keep your blades sharp all the time. You cannot let a blade get super dull and then try to hand file it back sharp again. You will wear yourself out before you ever get it sharpened. So you've really got to stay on top of sharpening your blades, sharpen them every other time you mow, or every third time, just to keep it super sharp all the time. But basically, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one, but just kind of show you real quick. You want to clamp your blade down in a vise like this, and basically all you're going to do is try to match the angle of the blade that's already there, and simply take a few strokes down the length of the blade to just get an edge back on this front edge. If you need to deburr it, you can go across the back side like that. After you've sharpened both sides of your blade, then you need to set it on your balancer, see if one side's heavier than the other. We're going to go over that in just a little bit here. But that is the cheapest way to sharpen your mower blades. The next way we're going to look at sharpening your blades is using a 4.5-inch angle grinder. You can use a 6-inch as well. This one has a flap disc on it. Using the flap disc just helps keep that blade a lot cooler than using an abrasive style disc. That's a big thing when you're sharpening any kind of blade like this, is you really don't want to get that blade too hot and lose the temper. That's going to make the blade get duller a lot faster. So when you're sharpening like this, you need to have a good set of ear protection, have the blade clamped down in the vise. There again, we're just going to try to match the angle that's already there. So you're going to hold the blade at an angle and work it back and forth, trying to match the angle that's already there and get it back down to a good sharp edge. Anytime that you're sharpening a blade, you only sharpen the top side of the blade. You'll see me when I'm done deburr the bottom of the blade, but that's just knocking the burr off of there. You're doing all your sharpening on the top side of the blade and trying to match the angle of the blade that is there from the factory. So you're going to keep working that grinder back and forth across the face of the blade until you get it back down to a nice clean edge all along the front of the blade, and then you're going to make a light pass across the back to deburr it. Once you've sharpened both faces of your blade, then you're going to set it on your blade balancer, and the heavier side is going to fall down towards the table. Then that's the side that you need to grind more off of until you can set it on here and it stays perfectly balanced. So you're just going to keep grinding off of the heavy side. Even though you're already sharp, you have to keep removing material from the heavy side until the blade is completely balanced. This set of blades have about 10 hours of runtime on them. As you can tell, the tip is just starting to get rolled over on it, and that's when these are ready to be sharpened. First thing you want to do is make sure to get any debris cleaned off of the blade that's going to throw off of our balance. I like to just use a putty knife and scrape all that off as best I can. Make sure to check both sides. Now your blades are ready to sharpen. This is just your typical bench grinder. I believe this is a 6-inch model. Next, we're going to be looking at this Oregon blade sharpener. This is actually made by a company called Burr King, but it's sold under the Oregon name in this particular model. This is called their X400, and it's an 1.5" by 48" belt style blade sharpener. Very nice sharpener, professional grade, but it's expensive. This model retails for around $2,100. So you got to sharpen a lot of mower blades to make this sharpener pay for itself. But you can sharpen a blade quickly, get it super sharp. You don't overheat the blade if you know what you're doing. Very nice blade sharpener. This is a magnetic style blade balancer. You simply push the blade onto the cone and then suck the magnet up to the back of the blade. Whichever side of the blade is heavier is going to fall down. All right, so our tip for today is how to know when to replace your blade. A lot of people don't understand when it's time to replace a blade. They think as long as there's more material here to sharpen on, that you can just keep sharpening this blade. That is not correct. How to tell when your blade is getting too worn out to keep using or to resharpen, you've got to look at mainly 3 different things. One, the biggest is the lip on the back here. Once this lip starts disappearing, the corner starts getting rounded off. This isn't a nice square edge anymore. Once you start losing that lift, this blade can't create the vacuum that it needs to really suck your grass up and cut it off clean, and then be able to discharge those clippings out the side of your mower. So once you start losing that lift, that's when it's time to replace your blades. You can also look at the leading edge of the blade. If it starts getting this hook in it, if it's not a straight edge or a curved edge anymore, they come from the factory straight, and then as you sharpen them, they start curving back. But once they start getting this hook in there, it's really hard to sharpen that hook back out of it and get it back to a nice straight edge. So this is what we call a factory style blade that's just a standard lift. This is what you call a gator blade. This is a gator G5 blade that has normally a whole nother tooth sticking out the far side here that is completely worn off. It's gone. So this is a blade that definitely needed to be replaced. I only sharpen this just to show you the sharpening techniques, but this blade would definitely go on the scrap pile because of that. Another thing to look at is this right along this edge here. You can see this one starting to get a groove worn into it. And that's caused by dirt and sand. Mowing too low or mowing in very sandy or dirty conditions will wear out the blade right there, and that'll basically it'll get worn out enough that this edge will just fall off because there's not enough material holding it together anymore. So this one was very close to being completely worn through right along the bottom of that lift wing. So that's kind of your quick tip for the day, how to know when you need to replace your blades. We do have a video coming up on the difference between a gator blade and the standard blade, so you can kind of see why this gator blade is a good upgrade for your mower over what it came with from the factory. So be looking for that. If you guys got some good information from this video, please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you later.